Hello guys, I would like to welcome all of you on this session. I hope I am audible. If any issue, then you can send a message or unmute your audio and tell me. Initially, I'm going to brief about this course. Many of you are just here just to want to know about this course, that what this course is. And in the second part, we are going to talk in depth about the answer writing, other things, and you are going to get a good experience of two persons, Sahil sir and Ayushi ma'am. They are going to talk about that what mistakes not to commit and how to clear the mains, how to improve your marks in GS. So in next half, we are going to talk about it. So let me start with this course. So what we have planned that we are going to start this GS answer writing plus course. Okay, so what is plus here? And we have shared the post there. So we three of us we talked about it, and we thought that let's create a course where the students are going to get the maximum benefit. Because in simple answer writing course, what happens that suppose we are going to give you some questions, you are going to write the questions, we are going to give you some feedback. Sometimes we don't work on the feedback, sometimes we keep on doing what we are doing earlier. So here number one thing which we are going to do first is guidance about GS2 and GS3. As many think that GS2 and GS3 is only current affairs, that is not true, and we are going to talk about it in length. So we are going to give you guidance about GS2, GS3. So first thing is how to prepare. Second thing is from where to prepare. Third thing is balancing between static and current affairs. Because most of the time what we have seen that candidates are wasting their time only in current affairs. They keep on doing current affairs whole year, because in some topper stock they hear that only current affairs come in GS2 and GS3, but that is not true. So we are going to tell you what is the best strategy for that. Then another thing is mentor support. And as I have mentioned in the course detail itself, we have not increased the fee because we know it is a COVID time. So whatever facility we are going to provide, we are going to provide the maximum facility. So mentor support means whenever you are going to join this course, you will be allotted one mentor among Sahil sir or Ayushi ma'am, or one more sir, he is in service. Out of three, you are going to get a mentor. So that mentor will be with you. Third is every day three questions we are going to give you according to the schedule which we have shared. So you will be added to a channel and you are going to get three questions every day, Monday to Friday. You will send the question. We are going to share the ID of the mentor with you. You are going to send your question to the mentor. Within 48 hours, they'll check your answer. They'll send back your copy to you. Then on weekend, this facility, this is very important. On weekend, one-to-one session with the mentor. So individually, you are going to get one session with the mentor every week. Their mentor is going to talk about your answer writing skills, improvement you have to make, what mistakes you are committing, and if you are facing any issue in answer writing or content wise or anything, you can directly talk to the mentor in that one-to-one session. And please, those who are going to join this course, do not miss this session, come what may. It is going to be the most important session with the mentor. Then last thing, and I think the most important thing, motivation to write. We all like, when we were aspirants, we used to join the big courses. Suppose someone is offering three test series. Test series 1, there are only 4 tests. Test series 2, there are around 8 tests. Test series 3, there is around 24 tests. We tend to join that 24 wala course. And how many tests we write, we all know. So there is lack of motivation to write answers. So on the answer writing part, the SOMP team is going to motivate you, first thing. Second thing, SOMP team and your mentor is going to motivate you to write the answer. There is a hesitancy in writing the answer. People think, okay, let me read some content, and we keep on postponing. But in this course, we will try that you don't postpone this answer writing. It all depends on you. We can only motivate you. Of course, it all depends on you. But the way we are going to motivate, I hope that you are not going to be what you used to be. Okay. So these are the basic things about this course. Then requirement of mains. This is very important. And as you are aware, like in earlier session, also I have said that now you have the time. You have the time to focus on the mains. Earlier we had a date for the prelims, but now you know that prelims is being postponed, so you have the time for the mains. Ideally, you should prepare something about the mains. Every year, you will find some of your friends, they are clearing mains every time, and some are failing every time. Who are failing, those who are failing, you might find them that they are going to get some rank. Every year, you will say, ki, okay, it's your bad luck, but next year you are going to get some rank. And those who are clearing the mains, there is a possibility that out of them, some one or two, you didn't have any expectation from them, but they keep on clearing the mains. So what is the thing that what is that path to clear the mains? One is content. Many people think content means that you have to read a lot of books, you have to join a lot of courses. This is not true. Content simply means as per the syllabus. You can talk to your seniors or the people who have appeared in this exam 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Still, they don't remember what is there in the syllabus. That is the one basic mistake which people commit. You don't have to commit that. At least in GS2 and GS3, we promise you that you don't have to commit it. By heart, you should mug up the syllabus. Only then you will understand that what you have to do for the preparation. Second is relevant content. People are preparing, they are doing hard work, but they are not they are not focusing on this relevant content. Unless you have the relevant content, you are not going to write very good answer in the mains, come what may. So relevancy matters. Third is optimum content. What is optimum content? You are supposed to write an answer in 150 or 250 words. 150 means 2 page, आगे पीछे वाला. 250 means 3 page. Suppose nowadays there is a topic which is in news about this Lakshadweep issue, and every day you are finding some editorial here and there on that issue, and you are collecting the data, you are collecting the facts, you are going through all the editorials, other things, and you have prepared, let's say, 10-page content. There is no use of this 10-page content. The reason being, you are supposed to write only your 2 page or 3 page. When you have 10 page, what is the issue? First, you cannot summarize it because you have a lot of points which are not relevant. Second, when you have so much content and so much like notes on a particular topic, you tend to write everything and there is a space constraint, 2 page or 3 page. So optimum content is the requirement. Then adding the value. Some student think that okay, I have finished XYZ coaching notes or XYZ books. They forget to add value in their notes. They forget to add value in their content. Then you cannot expect the examiner to give you very good marks. It is very important that you keep on adding value. And from to add the value, we are going to talk about. Then answer writing. Of course, first is content, second is answer writing. So what are the basics of answer writing? First and foremost, which I have talked in the earlier slide, avoid hesitancy of answer writing. You might have planned to write your first answer on Saturday. Then on Saturday, you are thinking that let me prepare more content, then I will write. And many of you keep on preparing the content. Unless you write, you don't know the real demand of the exam. You can collect thousands of pages on a particular topic. But trust me, when you are supposed to write your answer on 2 page or 3 page, you are not able to produce even 2 paragraphs, despite of having 1,000 pages of content. This hesitancy has to go. Second is fulfilling the demand of the question. There are parts in the question you are not fulfilling demand of the question. Then how can you expect the examiner to give you the marks? Let's say there is an issue of hunger. What is this? Fulfilling the demand of the question. There is an issue of hunger. And what you are doing, you are saying, let me distribute some clothes. Is this the demand? No, certainly not. Demand is of food. Similarly, there is a demand of the question, which we are going to talk in the second half. Third is don't copy, be original. What is this? Every year, especially when some people clear the exam, some tendencies we have seen, and this you have to imprint in your mind. There are some tendencies. So in 2017, let me give you one beautiful example. In 2017, that was the year of data, diagram, and flowchart. In 2018, because in 2017, many toppers have preached it. Many means many. In 2018, when students were writing a series in some coaching, if you are not making the diagram, if you are not putting the data, if you are not making the flow chart, coaching walas are saying that we are not going to give you the marks. You are forced to make the diagram. In 2018, those who have made the diagram, they didn't get the marks. So in 2019, the same institute said, please don't make the diagram. Please don't make the flow chart. We are not going to give you the marks. So what was the issue? That copy wala issue. In 2018 also, some with data, diagram and flowchart got the marks because they were original. What original means? Someone has made a flowchart for a question on NGO and you have copied that flowchart and you are like, because in 2017 everyone was saying you have to make flowchart diagram, you copied it, and in the mains 2018 wherever possible you are making this flowchart, which is not relevant. The point which I have said, relevancy matters, and you are not getting the marks. Be original. If even if you are making flowchart, you should make yourself, like that flowchart should be made by you, because only then you will realize that I'm going to use it in NGO, not in SHG. As simple as that. So please be original. And last and the foremost thing, challenge yourself. People are like, there is one issue which I have seen in many of the students. They are just doing the formality. And when they come to us and they are like, सर आंसर राइटिंग तो किया ही था सर, इतने सारे टेस्ट तो सर लिखे ही थे, सब तो कर लिया सर, अब क्या क्या बचा है? एहसान नहीं करना है किसी पे भी, एहसान यूपीएससी पे नहीं करना। You have to challenge yourself that how can you bring the best version of your answer? What all is required? And people don't challenge. They are just doing the formality. And when they fail, they are like, सब तो टेस्ट कर लिए थे, सारा टेस्ट किया, नोट्स भी बना लिए, फ्लो चार्ट भी बनाया, फिर भी नहीं हुआ, because they forget to challenge themselves. Unless you challenge, and let me tell you, the competition is not that high. What people say that every year competition is increasing, every year people are going through different kind of materials, so competition is increasing. That is not true. Competition remains the same. If competition, let's assume that if competition is increasing, then how it is possible that a student in their very first attempt is getting under 10 rank? It is not possible. Humanly it is not possible if competition is increasing. They are simply doing what is required as per syllabus content, relevant, optimum value. They are not hesitant of answer writing. They are fulfilling the demand. They are original. And they keep on challenging. So you have to challenge yourself that I have to do it. Come what may, I have to do it. So in the course, we are going to handle all these things. Everything will be handled in this course. This, this is the basic brief about this course. Now I would like to request Ayushi ma'am to take over the session. Hello, Ayushi.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you
Thank
there?
you so much, sir.
Yeah. Ayushi, there are 2 to 3 questions which I request you to address
Okay.
before directly going for the question.
Okay, sir.
As
Okay.
so, as you have appeared in mains, so from your experience, what you want to advise to the student that what should they do for the mains when it comes to especially GS mains preparation?
Okay, sir. Yes, I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, hello everyone. I am Ayushi, and I have given mains last year also, and this time also I cleared it, and I am hoping for for a rank this year. So, the purpose of this course, as sir has stated you, is that what SOMP will do is converge your UPSC preparation with the SOMP task force. So basically, sir, myself, and Sahil will have a convergence that that every one of you has some kind of knowledge, but it's there in your mind and but not on your copy. And an examiner will only get to know through your copy. So how to deal with that? Um so I think what an good answer requires is a kind first is a structuring, then build up some content over that, and after that presenting it in a such a way that it looks more visible. So I think I can help you guys with making your answer more visible through examples and how to utilize the content which you already know and not learning more and more content rather than utilizing your own content. I request every one of you to just drop some yes or no in the chat box if you get anything or if you have any query, so that I'll be able to understand that whether it is a
Uh,
like it will become a two-way communication.
Ayushi, I would like to request you to answer
Yes.
one question. There is a madness in the student
Yes,
community
sir.
about the
I'm starting with it.
yeah. There is a madness in the student community about the current affairs, and they keep on like joining one class, second class, third class. So, as per your experience, how much current affairs is required, and how much static part has the weightage? Can you please
Yes,
answer this?
yes, sir. Since I have given two means, so I think current affair has some importance. Definitely it has, but the most part of our answer comes from the static portion, and current affairs only act as an cherry on the cake. Basically you have to write a static answer with some examples of current affairs, some government schemes of the current affairs, some committees, so that it will fetch more marks than the others. But if you don't write static and directly jump to the current affairs, the answer looks very shallow, and those people who check our scripts are very experienced one, and they might not know the current affairs of now, but they definitely know the basics and statistics of any subjects. So I think uh, basic knowledge of any subject is must before directly jumping to the current affairs, I think. So I hope all of you will agree with this.
Yes,
There is
Ayushi,
one
thank you.
query.
And we are going to take all the queries once Ayushi ma'am and Sahil is going to
Okay.
they are going to share their knowledge with you. Ayushi, there are two questions in front of you. Can you please tell us that how you start writing the answer when you see the question? What you do? Like, what is your strategy for that? If we will talk about the question number one.
Hmm. Yes, sir. So as I read these two questions, the first thing I observed in these two questions is that the second question is uh, the segregation of the or the structuring of the question in the second question is very much clear, but in the first question it is not much clear. So in the first question, how I will approach the answer, I'll try to answer this question in two ways. Since the question is about the schemes of vulnerable sections which are not basically getting implemented effectively. So the general structuring for this answer will require me to have an introduction which is directly hitting the vulnerable sections and some schemes of it, like the vulnerable sections in India include women, tribals, LGBTQ, old age people, children, etc., youth, and so many. And the conclusion can be a way forward. But then, how will I structure the further answer? I think as of now, I can structure it in two ways. One way could be the stakeholder approach, where I divide the subheads of the question based on its vulnerable section, like women, one heading for women, one for children, one for adolescent girls, one for LGBTQ, one for tribals, one for old age people, and so many. I can go on with the list. And another way can be to revise this question can be sectoral basis. The schemes for vulnerable section can be for the social sectors, for economic sector, for political sector, for cultural aspects. So this way also this answer can be divided. So as much as we learn about how to divide the answer, we'll be better able to implement every answer in a different way, so which will look a better one. And coming to the second question, this question is about how far do you think cooperation, competition, and confrontation have shaped the nature of federation in India? The second question is more or less very clear. Only directly three divisions of the questions are given: cooperation, competition, and confrontation. So, in this type of questions, what is required is we should be able to formulate lots and lots of examples. But what happens within the span of 7 minutes, because this question is of 10 markers, we are not able to think diverse points. So when the question is already divided in the question, we should focus on the diversity of the question. So like for the cooperation, we should include examples of federation from the point of view of financial, legislative, administrative. If we use these 3 points in all the three: competition, cooperation, and confrontation, the answer will be very very diverse, which normally people won't do in those 7 minutes in on the day of mains. So I think uh, I'll be a better person to handle these things, that your knowledge gets converged with the questions and the demand of the question. I think, sir, I am able to answer that, sir.
Okay, Ayushi, but as you have said that the second question is very clear, right? So in the first
Yes,
question, if I'll request you that when you are seeing this question in the mains, then how you are going to highlight the keywords. So which all keywords you are going to highlight in the question number one?
yes, sir. In the 15 markers, the number of keywords can be more than two, three, or four, usually. So in the first question, the keywords are: one is welfare scheme, another is for the vulnerable section. So I think these two are the major keywords, and the last word of policy process. So it defines all the crux of policy implementation. So I think these three are the major keywords which can be addressed here, sir, and
Okay.
which can be the basis for our introduction and also for the conclusion.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Ayushi. Let me connect to Sahil, and let's move forward with Sahil, and then we will take all the questions which you are going to ask.
Okay,
So
sir.
your all the question are going to be addressed by Ayushi ma'am, Sahil sir, or by me. Sahil, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sahil, what is your experience with the mains? As you have appeared 4 times in the mains, so what do you think? What is the crux to clear the mains?
So, as you said, I have appeared 4 times in main. So, over the years, I've realized, like you mentioned earlier, that there are some rumors, you can say, or some opinions floating around the market. This should be done, this should be done, this should be done. So, initially, I also fell prey to those rumors and opinions. And over the years, I tried this thing and that thing and that thing. But in a crux, I would say mains is about writing those 20 answers decently and fulfilling the demand of the question, each part. One is able to do that, he or she will guarantee, he or she will definitely score average above average mark. You can say that could be 100, that could be 110, that could be 120, depending on the year's marking. So if in one line I describe what is main or what is the demand of main, it is answering those 20 or let's say 19 questions uh, to the to the best of the to the what is demanded. I mean, what the question is demanding, not what you know, but what UPSC is asking you to write. So if one is able to do that, mains is done.
Okay,
Hello.
and yes, there is one question, Sahil. What
Yes, sir.
all are the mistakes which one should avoid? Because everyone knows what to do, but as you have rightly said on the call, that people should learn what not mistake to commit, right? So
Right,
what
sir.
all those mistakes which you have felt that one should avoid?
So there are many mistakes. Like from my personal experience, I can say that number one could be just searching and too many sources. And this is more common in case of current affairs. We read the Hindu, then there's a new trend of Indian Express, then over the month the monthly magazine comes, and then some institutes are also given weekly compilations. And a new student, particularly in the first or second attempt, or maybe in the third attempt, he tends to read all those things because he thinks that more the knowledge, the more the chances of clearing the main. But that is not true, because even if you read those, that is not going to help unless you are going to consolidate and unless you're going to revise those things. So and that is not humanly possible to revise so many things and at the end put them on the sheet, because you have approximately 150 words or 250 words to express yourself and give your opinion. So not running behind too many sources is the first thing which one should do. I mean, definitely one should have a broad range of content, but that the optimum content which you mentioned, that is the need, and not beyond that. Number two, I would say uh, lack of adequate revisions is the second thing. I mean, when we give prelims, the usual tendency is to focus on the topics or the subjects which security, disaster management, agriculture per se, ethics, world history, post independence. But what we neglect is history, culture, and polity, economics. And when we neglect these, we don't revise these. Like initially in my Lakshmikant of polity, and there were questions from that. I could not revise the gist of economics, and when you don't revise that, you can't address the question in a fluid manner. I didn't revise. I was not able to revise modern history. I mean, I was able to revise, but when you do it with one revision, you are not able to produce the answer in a way desired by the UPSC in that time frame. So the second key to this exam, clearing this exam, is have two, three, or maybe four revisions and have your short notes handy with you. And that is only possible if you have optimum amount of content and if you make notes from that content and you revise that often. Because unless you're going to do that, the output is not going to be at par with what others are doing.
Okay, Sahil, and
And
the question
many
which
other
is,
mistakes
yes,
like,
yes, yes. Please continue. Sorry, please continue.
yes, yes, sir. Initially in my two attempts, or maybe I could say in the three mains, I was not able to complete the paper, and I was able to reach 16, sometimes 17, but not 20 anyway. But and one of the reasons for that was because again, the lack of revision, because you spend time thinking there, because you know the content, but it is not coming to your mind at the moment, and then the exam pressure builds, and thus you were not able to complete the question. So in average, if you leave three questions per GS paper, in effect you are leaving around 15 marks. That is around 60 marks across four papers. So automatically one is quite behind the game in the game. And so next, one thing which you mentioned, that every year there's a new trend evolving. Diagrams, sometimes diagrams, some flow charts, and what no micro flow charts and whatnot. So one thing I would say that these things might come, might will be coming every year. New things will be coming, but the core of main same, that you fulfill the demand of 20 questions. If you don't fulfill that, there's no way that he'll not be clearing unless it's a very unless he gets a bad score in optional. GS won't be a problem. So yes, sir, these were the mistakes I committed, and mostly I have seen many people commit these mistakes.
Yes. There is one thing which I would like to add, that only by completing the paper, if you are thinking that you are going to clear the mains, it's like a daydreaming. Quality must be there, because what Sahil has said, I have fully agreed to it. And I'm just adding one point. Of course, you should not leave any question. That is a rule. But if you are going into the examination with a mindset that if you will write all the question, if you are going to finish all the papers and you are going to get interview call, that is not going to happen. Quality precede over quantity. That's what I think. And now, Sahil, when you look at this question which is in front of you, question looks very simple, right? Question looks very simple, but
Yes,
how
sir.
to write it and how to get the best marks in such kind of question, what should be your approach?
Yes, sir. As it's a question from GS3. It says principles followed by Niti Aayog, how are they are different from the erstwhile planning commission. While the question is easy and we know the topics, but what happens is in exam, first thing is that most of us are not ready with the content. Why? Because Niti Aayog is mostly what I would say prelims topic. Planning commission is a gone topic. But what one does not do is that or realize is that planning and development is a topic mentioned in the syllabus. So, so when that is mentioned in the syllabus, that one it should come to mind of every serious aspirant that he or she has to prepare Niti Aayog. I mean, half-page note on Niti Aayog or a quarter-page note on Planning Commission. Now, coming to the question, sir, the main mistake I did was that I was not able to recall the content. The same thing, I did not prepare it or revise it. Now the question is, what are the principles followed by the Niti Aayog different from what the Planning Commission follows? question is talking about the principles, the demand of the question is about the principles. So the general structure which everyone follows is introduction, body, and conclusion. So in introduction, basically there are three ways of giving the introduction. We can give the data, or we can give the definition of the thing, or we can give a background. It can be a origin type of background, or it can be a current or contextual background. So in this, definition and data do not seem to be much possible. So we can give a contextual background of how Planning Commission and Niti Aayog were created. Like Planning Commission during the first 5 year plan as a result of the Soviet model, and Niti Aayog during Narendra Modi's tenure. Now, after these 3-4 lines, our introduction is done. For a 15 marker, this was, I remember this was in the 15 marker. So 3 to 4 lines of introduction is enough. For a 10 marker, 2 lines of introduction is enough. Next, we come to the body marker. Now, body is what? Body is your soul of the question. This is where you have to address the demand of the question, the core demand of the question. And what is the core demand? I mean, I can clearly see that question is only asking me to write differences in the principles, nothing else. If I write 5 genuine points on principles, I would be done. I mean, I'm able to reach 2.5 pages or 2.75 pages and I would be done. So what are the differences? Like the first common difference is the top down versus the bottom up approach in Planning Commission and Niti Aayog respectively. The second would be the approach towards the privatization. I mean, there's a difference. While Planning Commission was a bit conservative about Planning Commission, due to that the political atmosphere at that time, and while the Niti Aayog is a bit open and it has brought in a new term called strategic disinvestment also. Third, I would say the basic principle difference is the approach towards federalism. I mean, Niti Aayog is more open to taking in views of various states, and it has promoted competitive and cooperative federalism. Cooperative in the sense that its structure has many CMs, its committees has many CMs involved, and competitive in the sense that it brings various indices like the health index, the education quality index, the aspiration district programs. So it in a way tries to compare various states and they compete in that. So basic principle difference. Fourth would be around Planning Commission was more of a planner. It used to allocate resources and financial resources, but less of a think tank. While Niti Aayog is more of a think tank. Like you can see, only after Niti Aayog we see the like Niti Aayog brought in land leasing policy. It brought something on methanol economy or something on artificial intelligence. While during the Planning Commission years, the major focus was on 5 year plan. Next, we can see a differences in the approach of food security. Of course, that is also relating to the time in which these bodies operated. But the approach in food security is Planning Commission was more focused on the calorie approach, while Niti Aayog, through its nutrition mission and all that, is more focused on the hidden hunger and nutrition kind of thing. So if we are able to write these 4-5 points with explanations, with examples, we would be able to handle the question. Next, the body part will be done by then, and next thing would be conclusion. And in a 15 marker, it is kind of mandatory to write a 2-line, 3-line conclusion back, because in that way you would be able to something like you are short on content, then you will be able to fulfill that thing, and it also looks good to the examiner. So conclusion could be that we can say that both the institutions have fulfilled the have evolved according to the need of the time, and Niti Aayog is basically a need of the time which is more inclusive more modern and has less bureaucracy involved in. Now, sir, when I mm, do this, I have addressed the demand of the question. But more than addressing what is being asked or what we have to write, what becomes more important is what we do not have to write. Uh, so, like you mentioned, कि paper complete करने से you won't get marks. Like completing 20 questions and writing something into it won't get you marks. So the mistake which aspirants commit, especially in the real-time environment of mains, is that seeing the Niti Aayog, seeing the plan, the mission, if they don't recall the principles at that time, they start doing something to fill the space. And what is that something? That is not filling. That is not fulfilling the demand of the question. So what could be that? They would spend one page on describing the structure. Planning Commission had this structure, and Niti Aayog is having this structure. The question is not asking that. You will be wasting one page. You'll be wasting that time on the content you have written, which you could have utilized somewhere else. Next, they could completely change the course of the question. Like they could go into the importance of planning. What is planning? What are the different models of planning? Different models of investment. They could be excessively criticizing the planning commission or praising the Niti Aayog. So, there is at the back of mind, there is always a tendency to praise the government. So indirectly, they could consider that praising Niti Aayog might be making the examiner happy. So these kind of things, which is, the core thing I want to convey, कि this is not the demand of the question. This is not UPSC is asking you to write. UPSC is simply asking you what are the principles in which these bodies differ. Write 5 points, don't write anything else, and get done with the question. I hope I am able to convey myself, sir.
Yes, Sahil, आपने बहुत अच्छा बताया. Prima facie, when we see this question, so what we tend to do, we tend to write the difference between Planning Commission and Niti Aayog, their body, their structure, administrative structure, right? But that is not being asked. So initially, like I have appeared in that maze and I have done the same thing, one full page on this thing, that how Niti Aayog is different from Planning Commission structure wise. But the demand of the question is principles follow, and unless you figure out that what is the demand of the question, I don't think so that you are going to get the gist and you are going to get the demand of the question. So that is thing number one. And second thing, Sahil, whatever you have described, it is beautiful, there is no doubt about it. But just imagine that you are in examination hall. How many points you are going to recall in the examination hall?
Yes, sir. It's
Don't you
like
think that, just to add one more point, don't you think
yes,
when we are sitting outside the examination hall, we can we can recall many points, but once we are in that hall, our our mind is very closed and we are not able to recall many things.
yes, sir. Shall I
So
speak?
how to handle that situation?
So yes, sir. So basically, that happens because there's a heavy when we take this session or speaking outside the examination hall, we are only diverting our attention to one question, and that too by when we know what we have to speak. But when we are in the examination hall, we have attention on 19 other questions and how to manage those questions and lot of other stuff. So yes, if we remember 5 points here, that would automatically be reduced to three there, or maybe two in the worst case scenario. So the way to get out of this is first we have to understand that if that is happening with you, that might be happening with everyone else. Because and the way to judge that will be if you have prepared your content adequately and in an optimum manner, and you have revised everything. Once you have done that, you are confident enough that if I am not able to recall that, there is a chance that other might not, not all, other might also not be able to do that. This is one aspect, sir. And the second aspect is, sir, this was a 15 marker question. If I would waste 1.5 or 2 pages on something which UPSC is not asking me, that would amount to writing only half a page, which is UPSC actually asking, which is like wasting your 11 minutes for half a page, right? But if we understand the demand of the question, which is we do by for practicing and following the feedback over some time, what we would be reduced to is, in the worst case scenario, that we would be able to manage at least 3 points. Like, what could be those 3 points? The first one could be top down versus bottom approach. Bottom up approach. This is a very easy point, and if we can mention this and write 1 or 2 points under it, that would be easy. Well, that would be done. The next can be the aspect around think tag and planning. This is an easy point, sir. This can be recalled in the examination mode. The next can be around the financial principle, like how the both differ in the financial aspect. Yes, after this, it becomes a bit difficult at how much we are able to recall about privatization, the federalism aspect, the food security aspect. But if we are adequately done with the revision, maybe there are chances that out of three, maybe one or some other point which is close to being relevant will strike us. Because there is a pressure, but there's also a counter thing that under pressure or sometimes while writing mains or while writing answers, points tend to kick in and we tend to write that. So if even if we manage four decent points, when everyone else is doing some stupid thing like writing structure and writing the planning and his history and all that, you may end in 2 pages, but those 2 pages have a tendency to get you at least 6 marks, while other things might get you only 1.5 or 2 marks. So yes, sir, real time issues they will be there, but they are manageable if one is prepared adequately, at
Hmm,
least in a relative sense.
true. Okay, but जो ये issue है, the issue that you are not able to structure your answer, the issue that you are not able to write the points, how to handle that issue is going to be handled in this course, because we are going to enter in a model of heading subheading. Like Sahil has pointed out, methanol economy, about the poverty and other things. So don't you think that we can make some subheadings that Niti Ayog is working in different direction? Different direction means in social, then economic, then technological, then like poverty wala thing, gender wala thing. Once you know that how to divide your knowledge and how to divide your answer in heading and subheading form, it becomes very easy for you to write the answer. So it is more like fill in the blanks. Okay, but unless we enter in that mode, we have lot of knowledge, like every one of you, those who are preparing for last 1 or 2 years, you have the points, you have the knowledge, but unless you know how to divide that in heading subheading form, it becomes very difficult. Another thing what we are going to do, like Ayushi ma'am and Sahil sir, that whenever they will find the best copy, they are going to share with you that look, this is the best copy. Okay, now we are open to the question. Anyone wants to ask any question to me, Sahil sir or Ayushi ma'am, please feel free to ask. Unmute your audio and ask the question.
So I like to add one more point here.
Yes, please.
Uh, so everyone, I also see a thing in general that people answer some questions very well, and in some questions they do blunder. So the copy is not homogeneous. So it does not look good. An examiner read one question where the student has done right. Student has written excellent answer, and in the next he has written nothing. So I think writing a balanced copy is also one of the things which matters, because in the end your copy will weigh down like what have you written in the exam. So I think these aspects also will cover in our SOMP program.
And there is one question which I would like to ask to Ayushi and Sahil both. There are
Yes.
some questions where we write the answer and we think that we are going to get the best marks, but we get very average or worst marks. There are some questions where we know we are not going to get the best marks, but unfortunately we get the best marks in that question. So
Yes.
how that process works? What do you think that why we are getting very good marks in such kind of question where we were just like doing the formality, and there are some question which we write by heart and we don't get the best marks. So first, Ayushi, please answer this.
Yes, sir. So I think one reason could be either, when we think that we know too much, so we don't directly hit on the question. We write what we know. So we might think that we have written everything under the sun and we knew everything, but that was not the demand of the question. And at the same time, sir, I think in some questions which we think that we don't know, but if we structure the answer and write the points exactly what is the demand of the question, and then also we can get good marks. So I think it is the demand of the question and going into the core of the question which helps us fetches the marks.
So do you agree with one point that कि जहाँ पे कम नॉलेज रहती है वहां पे क्या है ना बड़ा आसान होता है लिखना,
Yes, sir.
and we stick to the question.
Yes, sir.
When we have large content, then we try to include everything and examiner is not able to understand anything,
Yes, sir.
right? Sahil, what is your view on this question?
Exactly, sir. The first point is the same, the demand of the question. If someone is asking you something and you're not answering that, and you are trying, you say that you will try to fool them by writing something else, that is not going to happen, because they're not just checking your copy, they are checking hundreds of other copies, and someone or some 10 people or 15 people will be writing the relevant content, and that is just sufficient for them to judge कि आपने अच्छा नहीं लिखा है, that you've not written
Hmm.
well. The second thing is that, sir, I've seen, and it is not student fault, but actually in the real time again, we are not able to recall the point. So let's say there was one question I was seeing recently, that what should a civil servant do to enhance the quality of service delivery in his organization from the ethics, right? So what was required is that we may write 4, 5, 6 concrete points that he should adopt e-governance and give some example. Then he should focus on automating the processes and re-engineering the processes. Citizen charter, social audit should be adopted, and feedback mechanisms and all that. So these were 6 concrete points which, with examples, would fetch marks. But when a student is not able to think in that environment, in that real-time environment, what he tends to do is kind of start writing the parameters. Like, what should a civil servant do? He should be effective in his delivery of services. He should be efficient in his. He should be responsive. He should be transparent. He should. These things are right, but when the checking is relative, you won't be able to fetch the best marks. I mean, when other is fetching 3 out of 5, you might be just getting 1 or 1.25 out of 5. So this is one aspect which is also present apart from the demand of the question. I think, sir,
Yes,
this
yes,
is
yes,
according to me.
yes. So guys, we are open to questions. Please unmute your audio. Ask your question directly to me or Ayushi ma'am or Sahil sir. And let me give you a small brief that Sahil sir has appeared 4 times in the mains. Ayushi ma'am has appeared twice in the mains. Last year she has appeared in the interview. This year also she is appearing in the interview.
So I'd like to clear some doubts which are in the
Yes,
chat box.
sure, sure.
So one doubt from the Kumar is that, ma'am, if they have. Yes, definitely. You like if you have not even completed the syllabus, then also I'll advise you to join so that with every day there will be a topic on which the questions will be given, so that you can prepare that topic and write that question after studying that. So I think it will help you. But I think you should have some basic idea of the subjects, and you should not be blank with it that you don't know anything. Even if you had read once something about the subject, I think you can join the course. Um, for 2022 attempt, the current affairs usually needed to be prepared from past 1 year. If the For the 2022, if the mains is in October or prelims is in June, then you should prepare from June 2021 to 2022 current affairs. The next question from Kapil is, so ma'am, if we have some knowledge, will you teach us? Yes, definitely. Even if you don't know some of the answers of the question, with practice, you will learn how to write those answers, and you will observe that in those questions you will fetch higher marks compared to the other questions. It will happen. I have tried it so many times, and I'm always getting good marks in those kind of questions. So don't worry, Kapil. Next question is, which type of pen? So I think blue color is more preferable, and while in gel or ball pen or ink pen, you can use any
This
of the pen which you are comfortable. I think. Yes,
this
sir.
this pen wala question, it is a very cute question which generally freshers ask that sir what to use, but preferably blue and black. Don't go for green and red and other colors because you won't find the time. Reason is, once you enter into the mains examination hall, once you start writing, हिंदी में कह रहा हूँ, गर्दन ऊपर होने का टाइम मिलता नहीं है. You don't know when
सही बात है
that
सर.
3 hours has passed, and you are like struggling, and you are struggling, your hand is paining, everything is there, but you are there to just simply finish the paper. There is no need of pencil. We, like those who have not appeared in mains, please work hard to appear in the mains. There is excess shortage of time. You won't find any time to experiment with pencil or pen or anything. You will be just simply like, when you start with the question number one, the only time you will recall after 3 hours that okay, I have done that. So don't worry about that.
Yes, sir. So
Any other questions?
yes,
Yeah.
sir. There are some more questions in the chat box. Uh, Someone is asking about the flexibility of the course. I think this should not be the question, and you should be uh, completely aligned with the schedule, so that if you procrastinate anything, you will lose on something. We are already always ready to be flexible, but I think you should be strict enough to stick to the schedule. Uh, I think it's so. So, what will you suggest me?
Flexibility means that why postponing answer writing, postponing finishing the syllabus. I think you guys should stick to this plan and trust me on one thing. Again, I'm saying this course, we could have increased the fee like anything, but we didn't because we know that this is the COVID times. This is the first course which is going to be handled by 3 mentors. Please try to stick to the schedule. If you have some personal issues or other things, some emergency, then it is fine. Otherwise, try to follow the schedule.
Yes,
And
sir.
I would like to have some like audio question. You can unmute your audio and directly ask the question. This chat wala we are going to answer. There is no issue with that.
Okay.
Anyone has any question? Unmute your audio. Ask the question directly.
So I think I should answer the question in the
Yeah,
chat.
sure.
Hi has asked how to write unexpected questions like Cyberdome question. Yes, this question was unexpected. But what I did in this question, I can tell you from that. By looking at the word Cyberdome, what we see, cyber is something related to cyberspace, and dome is a kind of protection thing like Iron Dome or Cyberdome. So one can definitely understand it is something in this sector, and you can write in general about this cyber security infrastructure of India, cyber security measures taken by us, what can be the key terms which you will study in this aspect, you can use those so that your answer looks much more knowledgeable than some other people. I think that can be the strategy for this question.
Let me add one more point.
Yes, sir.
If I'll see a question on Cyberdome, okay, there is one important message, that is, whenever we appear in mains, we mark the question. We mark the priority of the questions, that these are the question I'm going to write in first hour. These are the question I'm going to write in second hour. These are the question in third hour, and there are some question which we have no clue. So if there is a question on Cyberdome, then there is only one thing which I know: cyber, nothing else. Although it was a project in Kerala, and after means, like, even we checked on Google and find out that this was the project. But if I'm going to appear in the mains, and if I'm getting such kind of question, I will simply write about the cyber policy and other things, to be honest,
Yes.
right? Because if you don't have any clue about that question, that then what you are going to write? There are others who are like, "Ki, we knew this question and you should have done that," and they are doing like not a good job, and you are in a guilty trap. But trust me on this, Cyberdome hardly I'm saying 10, 20, 30 students knew about it out of 3,000. Everyone wrote about cyber policies, cyber security, and other things. That is what you are going to do. But if you are doing the same thing in the first hour and you are trying to fill all the pages, it's a mistake, and it's a bigger mistake, because the question where we have very less knowledge, we should try to attempt such question in the last 30 minutes, not in the very first hour. Next question, please.
Uh, this question is regarding flow diagram, pencil or pen. I don't think that we'll have much time to shift from pencil to pen and again like that. Even diagram with pen will suffice. So
लेट
we'll
मी ask this question in हिंदी. आयुषी, पानी पीने का भी टाइम मिलता है क्या? नहीं, जब देते हैं
बिल्कुल नहीं सर, बिल्कुल
तो
भी नहीं।
साहिल भाई, यार ये
नहीं
सब
सर,
वो
पानी
क्वेश्चंस
तो
है ना।
दूर की बात है।
ऊपर
ये
से ही
सब
पिक
वो
करते हैं सर।
देखो, ये सब वो क्वेश्चन है जो आप कहीं पे किसी गलत यूट्यूब चैनल को फॉलो कर रहे हो। मत करो यार। जहाँ पे एक क्वेश्चन आता है ना, मैं बहुत टाइम पहले जब मैंने तैयारी भी नहीं चालू करी थी, तो एक क्वेश्चन था कि अंडा जमीन पे गिरा वो टूटा नहीं, इसका कारण बताओ। ये क्वेश्चन यूपीएससी इंटरव्यू में पूछा गया है। तो सो सच चैनल क्लेम्स, एंड व्हेन वी आर न्यू, we don't know what is right and what is wrong. So try to unfollow such channels. They are simply wasting your time and attempt. You will not find time to experiment in the paper. The moment you start writing, the moment they will say, yes, start writing. Like in the mains, what happens when you enter into the mains hall, and when you sit on your seat, the examiner will give you the paper, and you are not supposed to open the paper. But we open slowly कि क्या क्वेश्चन है, जरा पढ़ लें, एंड वी स्टार्ट प्लानिंग कि ये पहला लिखना है ना? तो वो होता है। सो इन मेंस यू डोंट गेट एनी टाइम, एंड you are not going to get even an extra single second. Those who are freshers, those who are going to appear in 2022, one personal request: try not to follow some stupid YouTube channels. Go for authentic channels. Go for authentic source. Always go for authentic source and authentic channels. Otherwise, there is no dearth of such channels where you will find that, like uh, there is one thing that someone said, that you have to study 14 hours for clearing the exam. You don't have to. If you are ready to put 8 hours effectively, effective means 8 hours means 8 hours. Every day, if you can do it, you can get rank 1. And I'm saying it on record. And I have seen people who are studying for 14, 16 hours every day. they are not even able to clear the prelims for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Reason being, हमें right direction में जाना है. Hard work must be followed with the right direction. Hard work cannot ensure your success unless you are on the right direction. Today, there is no need to study for 14, 16, 18 hours. Again, I'm saying on record, 8 hours every day consistently, you can clear the exam with a very good rank, rank 1. Unless you know the right direction, like Ayushi is here, Sahil is here, I am here. We have struggled a lot to get the right direction. Had we got the right direction, 3 of us were ready to put the hard work. But in the name of right direction, what we got? Some test series, some classes. So mentorship means that you get the right direction. It simply means that you get the right kind of direction which is going to help you to achieve your goal. तो ये सब नहीं करना है यार, पेंसिल पेन वैन इतना टाइम नहीं है वहां मेंस. When you start writing your essay paper on day 1, you will get some time. The moment you start writing GS1, you won't even remember when you will reach to GS4 paper and your paper is over. So mains is very different. Next question, please.
Hello,
Yes.
sir. Anyone who is already enrolled for other course of SOMP, like any Hurricane batch or other course, can he manage this course? That means this schedule will not clash with that other course.
If you are in Hurricane, then you don't have to join this course because Hurricane is itself a very tough course. As if you are in that, then you know the value of Hurricane. But the thing is that Hurricane is more about the managing the time in 1 hour. This course is more about if you are not able to manage that time, then it is more about the quality, not the quantity. Hurricane is more about the quantity, that how you are going to write 7 questions in 1 hour. So you will not be able to manage both the courses, to be honest.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But the schedule of this both the course will at the same time or class or in different time.
It is different. It is different.
That
So
means suppose
are you in Hurricane batch?
yes, sir.
And are you able to write 7 questions in 1 hour?
Sir, I'm able to write, but sometimes some question I am getting 0. So
Okay.
that means writing completely out of box, out of
So
the
I
scope
think
of
you
the
should.
question. That's why.
Okay. So I think you should directly message to me, and I think you should switch from Hurricane to this course, and you don't have to pay any fee for that.
Thank
you. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
So just one question. So any expected timeline for your 18th April prelims course?
Sahil, I think tomorrow we are going to share the schedule, if I'm not wrong, for the prelims batch.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Next question.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Good evening,
Hello.
sir.
Yes. Good evening.
Sir, my question is with regard to Hurricane batch itself, sir. I'm a member of Hurricane batch. At this point of time, I'm able to write the 7 questions and I'm being marked almost 40% of the marks of the total marks, at least 40%. So my question was with regard to emphasis on paper 2 and 3. So
In the
I was
Hurricane.
under, no,
In the
sir. I am already.
Yeah.
I'm already a member of the Hurricane batch, sir.
In the Hurricane, every paper is going to be completed, as you know, and there is a proper schedule to that. And if you
Yes,
are
sir.
getting 40%, then I think rank अच्छा आ जाएगा यार, क्योंकि rank 1 लाने के लिए ज्यादा नंबर चाहिए नहीं.
Sir, so my question was with regard to the congestion of the syllabus once the second week begins, sir. Because from 6th onwards, we have history, society back to back, and then geography. And then the same applies to the polity section also, because within 10 days, we are almost completing the entire polity paper. So if I also happen to take this course, sir, this particular plus course, would that
No, no, you don't
enhance
have.
my?
No. You
Okay, sir.
don't have to take this course. What we'll do, that will provide all the weekly sessions with other students. Okay, so you
Okay,
don't
sir.
have to spend any money on this course.
Okay, sir. And so secondly, I had a doubt with regard to the diagrams, sir.
Hmm.
The diagrams is generally set by certain institutes saying it is better we put it in a box because it becomes unorganized if at all we are drawing a diagram or a flowchart. Let's say in an international relation question, if you're drawing a map while expressing CPEC. So is it essential that we put the diagram in a box as in just two square shaped box, or that doesn't make any difference, sir?
How can you make a diagram of CPEC here?
I
It's a
meant
huge
the diagram
diagram.
as in the map of.
It's a huge
Uh,
map. It's a huge map.
Okay, so
Reason
you would suggest us
so
to avoid that even
so
for a 15
no,
marker, sir?
no, not avoiding, but you have to be like, how to put it in words. You have to like, डायग्राम जो है ना, कभी भी पेज के बीच में नहीं बनाना है, वो साइड में
Sir.
बनाना है, और वो साइड में बना के हम उसको हैंडल करते हैं। बिकॉज जहाँ सीपीईसी है, चलो थोड़ा इजी है कि हमने डायग्राम बना दिया,
हाँ सर, इसीलिए
but I have seen some candidates who are making diagram for Indo-US and they are like
Right.
showing all the continent. That is not
which
required.
makes no
Yes.
sense now, sir. Yeah.
Yes.
In this particular
That is
question,
not
because one of the first or the only reason why India
Hmm.
opposes the entire BRI being
yes, yes, yes,
CPEC infringing India's sovereignty, I thought
Yes.
showing that within a diagram will
yes.
enhance my question again because of the 2017 attempt where
But-
people were forced to draw diagrams, maps, and
But
all.
even if you are not making, when it comes to
Yeah.
CPEC, divide it in different dimensions:
Right.
economic, defense,
Yeah.
strategic, okay,
Okay, sir.
technological.
Right.
Then it comes to diplomacy, and 4 dimensions are sufficient to write like 10 marker or 15 marker question.
Okay. So for example, let's say in a temple construction or the type of, if some question is on Dravidian construction and then we happen to draw the
We can.
vihara, or
Yes,
there,
we can draw.
should it be put in a box, sir, or should it be just left alone normally?
Suppose there is a page. Suppose there
Yeah.
is a page in the right hand side.
Yeah.
In the right hand side, some small diagram, and that should
Yeah.
be in a box.
Okay, sir. That was my question, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sir. Thank you so much. So you would suggest for an already existing student not to really bother about multiplying courses
Yes,
and putting
and
burden on them, sir.
don't waste
Okay.
waste your money.
And sir, with regard to the one-on-one sessions with the mentor, sir, would that also be extended to the Hurricane batch just in case? If there's
No,
any
yeah,
necessity?
no, yeah.
No, okay,
In
okay.
Hurricane, there is no such provision. But if you need, I will see what I can.
Sure,
do.
sir. Sure, sir. Thank you so
Okay.
much, sir. Those were my
Okay.
doubts.
Okay. Anyone else?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, sir. Sir,
Hello. Yeah.
sir, as I'm not a fresher, sir, but I have not taken any GS coaching as of such. So, sir,
Hmm.
like I had done in the past 2 years, I had done it on my own. So, but what problem I am facing is now is that I have done the basic books, but of course I lack revision. That is there, but I am not able to consolidate my notes. So, whenever it comes to answer writing, so like I'm writing in a very haphazard manner, even if I study about some topic, and then when I write like the daily questions which I write, so I am not able to put the exact thing. And so like for some static portion, I feel that there is a lack of content. So sir, should I be joining this course, or sir, how should I go about it? Can you please guide me into it?
So if you please allow me, I can add.
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Shikha, you don't need to be worried about whether you have joined any coaching or not.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
personally have never joined any GS coaching. I'm being very honest. So don't worry about that. And coming to the thing that whether you can approximate data and other things,
Yeah.
with practice you will get to know how much you can approximate things, and eventually when you join the course, will eventually will develop some standards how much approximation can be taken into account.
Okay, okay. So, ma'am, should I go for this course and then I'll learn how to just like write the answers and all, then and then everything later on?
Yes, definitely. With practice, you will learn how to answer perfect answer within time with
Yes.
some data. I think you will learn it with the practice.
मैम एंड एक और मेरा डाउट था एक्चुअली like these daily answer courses I had taken some other coaching course as well. So what they used to do that they used to give the topic and they used to give us time to study. So what I used to do that and they used to pose the questions. So whatever was the question regarding the things, so I used to study about only and only that topic only, so that my that much knowledge would suffice the answer writing. So I used to read it and just make a short note on what I have to write on that particular question only. So, ma'am, this is how I did. But like later on, I realized that it is not adding anything to my knowledge. So, like this, I am just studying for that particular question which is being asked. So, ma'am, like, how should like I do it and how should I handle it all? So because it's maybe I think you'll be giving us the topic and you'll be giving us time to study even if we have not studied. So ma'am, like how should I do it? Like I don't know, I'm confused.
No, no, Shika, as you would have seen the structure and schedule of our course, it is
Yes, ma'am.
based on the subject, not directly on the topic. So, like for 1 week, you will prepare the agriculture. So, in
Yeah.
that 1 week, subtopics will be there. So, you'll prepare whole agriculture in that 1 week. So, I think that 1 week is enough for holistic preparation of agriculture. I don't think this will be a major problem.
And there is one more thing, that whatever topic you are going to prepare, there will be a session
Hello.
on that. There, whatever topic you are going to prepare for next week, there will be a session on that, that how to prepare that topic, from where to
Okay.
prepare
Okay.
that topic. So yes, Ayushi has answered your doubt, and I think in this way you will be able to handle this.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So, sir, my question is like you said that there'll be sessions specific to the topic that will be given each day. So,
Not each day, there
okay.
will be weekly
Achha,
sessions.
weekly session. Okay, okay,
Yes,
weekly
yes, yes.
session. So, in the weekly sessions, we'll be told about the like areas from which we can choose the content or for the entire week, right? So, my problem is again similar with what was there with Shikha. That is, I have a lot of content, but I don't know like which content to use where. So, I guess that will be covered basically in that only, right? Uh, the weekly session for this preparation.
Uh, I'm s- I'm sorry, I didn't get your question. Can you please repeat your question?
Okay, so sir, my problem is like I have a lot of like sources. I've read from a lot of sources, a number of sources for a particular subject, but I have not compiled it, right? So the problem before me is when I go to study, I cannot cover everything in a week. So this goes my problem. So whether it can be solved like through this, like
Definitely,
video.
definitely. And there is a thing that we have to limit our source, first thing, but limiting our source does not mean that we can follow any source. It must be a standard source. I think Sahil is going to answer this question beautifully. Sahil, हम बहुत सारे सोर्स फॉलो करते रहते हैं, सब चीजें करते रहते हैं, फिर कुछ हो नहीं पाता. What is your view on this?
Yes, sir, definitely. As in the beginning, I've said this is one of the mistakes I made over the years. I mean, in the initial 2-3 years. So even if you accumulate knowledge from many sources, the problem is that you won't be able to consolidate that and then revise that and then produce that on paper. So in effect, if you have read those many things, that is mostly for prelims, mostly relevant for prelims, and in mains it won't help you. And if it, you can very well judge how useful it is for you. So pick one source which most likely we will suggest you the best source which can give you the best output. Pick that source, read that 2-3 times in that given time frame for the according to the schedule. And if you want to make a short note, make that there and then. If you are not able to attempt the question, read the reviews and feedback, and then make the note. I mean, howsoever it suits you.
Sahil, making
Sources.
short notes, it's an umbrella term, right? And many people think कि short notes banana hai and they don't know about it. So can you please share some basic insight? Of course, in the course we are going to talk about this thing in length. Can you please share that how you ensure that you are having some short notes on a particular topic?
Yes, sir, definitely. So, like, if we see UPSC questions, mainly you can categorize in them in four key types. Like, one is the total current type of thing, which is around 3 or 4 out of 20 questions, जो पूरे ही current oriented होते हैं और जो बहुत heavily news में रहे होते हैं. Then there are some questions which are based on static current. I mean, they'll have a tint of static and they'll have a tint of current, both a mixture. And then there could be one or two bounces. So what usually, if you think from that perspective, is you prepare the most relevant 50, 100, 150 topics across the 1 year for current affairs. Then that would kind of be relevant or optimum for your current affairs question. And then those 10 questions or those 12 questions, which are a mix of static and current, or in which you are supposed to write current and both static. What usually suffices is that you have either some data, some definition, some origin prepared for that, which will help you in introduction. So your short note should have a data or a definition, which you can even have separately, like a separate 5, 4, 5, 6, 10 pages for this kind of thing. Then the body aspect. The bodies mostly depends on the question, but what is common among these things is that, like, some government schemes, some committee recommendations, some Supreme Court judgments, or in economy, I would say, like in agriculture, the different stakeholders and of how a particular policy or something is going to affect them. These are some common, or some in science and technology, like we have some very 5, 6 common things which we can reproduce for any kind of question if you're not able if we haven't prepared for that question. So these kind of things we can have in our short notes. Apart from, yes, the specific content which should be there, like 4, 5, 6 definite points. And then in conclusion, you don't need to write, but you can have a template, like 5, 6, 10 templates. And with practice, you can, during your answer writing, you can practice them and then you produce them. But in your short notes, you do not need to have your conclusion. So one topic should ideally be completed in 0.75 pages or max 1 page, in this way. Yes, sir.
I hope Sahil has answered this question.
Yes, sir. Sir, one more thing that I was having as an issue. So right now I've been like, I've started writing answers from the last like 20-25 days. What I've observed like is that I take a lot of time to produce the answers, like 20-25 minutes for 15 markers. And the answers that I get evaluated from people, like experts, I guess. So these are like few comments are there, and most of the answers I get like 40% of the mark.
What is the meaning of experts?
Like Byju's, I'll say I have taken the course of
Okay,
Byju's.
okay. Okay. I don't
Yeah.
want to comment on other coachings.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
that you are going on peer review. Peer review is not going to help. Yes, professional is going to help.
Yeah. So the issue there that I'm facing is like now when I when should I start to reduce this time from 25 minutes to, let's say, 10-11 minutes for like
Don't. Initially don't. Reason being, first quality matters, then quantity. And if you need some evaluation, you can send one question on SOMP inquiry, and
Okay.
Sahil sir is going to see your question and he's going to give you a review. I think
Okay.
that
Okay.
way you will be able to judge that whether you are getting the right review or not, because in the means the biggest thing is we don't get the right review. There are questions
Okay,
where
sir.
we are not writing the good content and we are getting very good marks. It is a problem of review.
Mhm.
And that thing gave us the
Mhm.
boost that yes, I'm going to clear the mains and other
Yeah.
things, but that should not be the case.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir. Okay.
Yeah. Next question, please.
Hello.
Sir, if someone wants to message you, your Telegram ID is
SOMP inquiry, you can send your queries.
Okay.
Gentleman is like यार अभी तो busy थोड़ा आरोनम के काम पे,
Okay.
so I might not be able to reply. But you can send your queries on SOMP inquiry. They will reply.
They will entertain. Huh?
Yes, they will definitely entertain.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Good evening.
Sir, actually, I have not completed my syllabus thoroughly, and I don't have much content to write in my answers. So, if I join this course, how it will be useful for me, or should I go for some other course, sir?
यार ये जो कोर्स है ना बड़ा बेसिक कोर्स है, ठीक है।
Okay.
इसमें हम वही टारगेट कर रहे हैं कि जहां थोड़ा मेंस का करानी है, सिलेबस करानी है, क्योंकि देखो बात ये है अब टाइम मिला है, हर कोई चाह रहा है कि कुछ कर लेते हैं मेंस के लिए। तो वहां पे क्या है कि डिफरेंट डिफरेंट कोर्सेज हैं, हर कोचिंग के कोर्सेज हैं, और मैं किसी पे कोई कमेंट नहीं कर रहा हूँ, बट
Yes,
हम
sir.
जो प्लान कर रहे हैं वो ये कर रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे आप क्या करेंगे कि GS2 GS3 ये दो हम कमिट कर रहे हैं कि इसको आप अच्छे से तैयार कर लेंगे। दिस इज अवर कमिटमेंट। अगर आपने थोड़ा बहुत भी सिलेबस पढ़ा है तो भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, यू विल बी एबल टू कंप्लीट इट।
Okay. GS1 नहीं इंक्लूडेड है सर इसमें?
इसमें GS1 का सोसाइटी इंक्लूडेड है। इसके बाद जैसे ये कोर्स एंड होगा, we'll enter into the prelims mode. What we have planned that we have 3 courses as of now. One is GS2 GS3, second ethics, third is prelims. तो ये तीनों जब मिलेंगे तो वो holistic complete होगा। As of now we are talking about GS2 and GS3. There is a course of ethics which tomorrow we are going to launch. So there will be ethics and then prelims also. So that will be holistic one. But in this course, GS1 only society part is included, not other parts.
तो सर अगर मैंने ज्वाइन कर लिया ये, तो जो भी क्वेश्चंस होंगे उसके पहले क्या सिलेबस दिया जाएगा और सोर्स बताएंगे इसके बारे में, या कैसे होगा फिर?
क्या बोल रहे हैं? हेलो,
थोड़ा डिस्टर्बेंस हो रही थी सर एक्चुअली।
हाँ, अभी आप बोलिए।
अगर कोर्स ज्वाइन कर लिया सपोज
जी,
तो और हमें शेड्यूल मिल गया कि मंडे को ये आपको इस सब्जेक्ट से क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाएंगे, तो क्या हमें सोर्स और जो भी सिलेबस होगा वो एडवांस में बता दिया जाएगा?
जो भी आपको टारगेट दिया जाएगा या जो भी शेड्यूल रहेगा ना, उससे पहले एक ग्रुप का जूम सेशन रहेगा जहां पे बताया जाएगा इस टॉपिक को कैसे पढ़ना है और कहां से तैयार करना है, ताकि आप लोग अपना टाइम वेस्ट नहीं करें कि कहीं मटेरियल आप सर्च कर रहे हैं, कुछ और आप कर रहे हैं। ये हॉलिस्टिक कोर्स है। ये GS2 GS3 के लिए बिल्कुल हॉलिस्टिक रहेगा ये। इसमें क्या रहेगा कि हमेशा जो भी हम एक टारगेट नेक्स्ट वीक का लेके चल रहे हैं
जी,
तो उससे पहले एक जूम सेशन रहेगा, वो जूम सेशन सारी चीजें क्लियर कर देगा।
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So I think I can add to that.
Yeah, please.
The doubt of that question.
Yes, please, sir. Please, sir.
Yes. So you asked whether topics will be given or something like that. It's like particular weeks will be allocated to different components of the subject. Like agriculture will be given 1 week. So so 1 week means effectively 5 days. So the whole of agriculture syllabus will be divided over 5 days. Like one day you can have food processing, then the other day you could have storage, marketing and distribution and food security aspect. Then other day you could have some other aspect. So effectively across 5 days, the whole syllabus will be distributed. And according to that topic, you will be getting the question. So yes, the topic would be given to you, but not the exact topic which would be given to you.
सर फॉर एग्जांपल आपने फूड प्रोसेसिंग का टॉपिक दे दिया फॉर मंडे, तो इसके लिए जो सोर्सेज होंगे वो आप बताएंगे भी हाँ कहाँ से प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं हम इनको?
Yes, we can guide you about the sources. अगर आपको वो अच्छे लगते हैं तो you can follow that. If you think some other source is benefiting you, so you can follow that. But effectively, minimum or optimum level of content.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, welcome.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, please ask.
Sir, actually, I have joined SOMP ethics and essay writing course, sir. Ethics is yet to start, you have said. So can
वो
I?
थोड़ा मेरा गलती है, थोड़ा सा क्या टाइम मिल नहीं पा रहा, बट एथिक्स टुमारो आई विल शेयर द शेड्यूल एंड एथिक्स विल स्टार्ट एंड यू आर ओल्ड SOMP स्टूडेंट, सो यू नो थोड़ा बस बिजी रहा अरुणम पे, बट टुमारो विल स्टार्ट.
Okay, sir. My question is whether I can balance this course along with ethics, as I'm doing
Definitely.
my optional answer writing also. No problem with that, no, sir.
Definitely, because whatever schedule we are making for ethics,
Okay.
prelims, and this course, we are trying that if someone wants to join all the courses, then there should be some connection in all three courses.
Okay, sir.
And don't worry, for ethics, I will be responsible. Ethics खत्म करा देंगे यार 6 वीक में, कोई टेंशन नहीं है ना?
Okay, sir.
Sir, effectively there will be only one GS subject or one GS component per week. So that is ideally a student is required to study in a week. So that should not be an issue.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Don't worry about that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any more doubts, guys? Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, please ask.
Sir, I have one more question. What will be the duration of this course, sir?
2 months.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I'm a fresher and have read basic books only. Sir, will you guide with the sources or give the list of the sources so then I can arrange them in time?
Fresher in what sense?
Fresher, sir, I have read, means this is my first attempt and I haven't read much extra sources for the means. Just I have prepared the basic books thoroughly.
I think this course is not going to help you. I think you should think about 2022 वाला course. वहाँ थोड़ा help मिलेगा. Reason being, as a fresher, when we read Lakshmikant, we take some time. And like Sahil, me, Ayushi, we like हम तीनों इस बात से agree करेंगे. First time when we read Lakshmikant, it takes time. अगर guidance नहीं है, तो क्या होता है ना कि वही लक्ष्मीकांत को पढ़ने में 3 महीने निकल जाते हैं और समझ में कुछ आता नहीं है. लेकिन अगर आपको पता हो कि लक्ष्मीकांत कैसे कवर करना है, क्या पढ़ना है, क्या नहीं करना है, तो थोड़ा इजी रहता है. सो आई डोंट थिंक सो ये कोर्स आपके लिए हेल्प करेगा. आप 2022 वाले जो कोर्स है उसके लिए आप देखिए.
कौन से कोर्स सर?
2022 वाले.
ओके सर.
है ना? क्योंकि यहाँ पे क्या है ना कि अननेसेसरी आप आंसर राइटिंग की कोशिश करेंगे, लेकिन जब तक हमने कुछ पढ़ा नहीं है तो हम क्या ही लिखेंगे. एंड ऑनेस्टली वी डोंट वांट कि आप अपना जो अमाउंट है वो वेस्ट करें, तो ये आपको हेल्प नहीं करेगा.
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू.
जी वेलकम. एनी मोर डाउट्स?
Sir, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Sir, this is with regard to the prelims test series you were speaking about, sir. So when could we expect that to begin from, sir? By the end of the month?
Not prelims test series,
yes,
but
sir.
that is going to be like master plan for prelims, and
yes,
that
sir. So
course is going to be very good course. Earlier I planned to start from 18th of April.
Okay.
Then COVID came and some my known people died.
Okay, sir. Oh, sir.
And then we planned,
sorry,
and then no, it's okay. Okay. Many have died in India.
Yes, sir.
Then we planned, but I think now we are going to start that, and whatever and what we are planning that we are going to start this course within a week. This course will end by 20th or 25th of September.
1 month at least. Okay, 15 days before, sir. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So there are two components of this course. One is the whole course is going to end by let's say 15th of August.
Okay.
For next 1 month, we are going to devote on revision.
Okay.
So those
Sure.
who think that they don't those classes of revision, they can skip the course.
Okay.
And they will get like 1.5 month for their prelims preparation. So
Okay.
there will
So,
be two component in that. Yes, please.
Yeah, sir. So I first got to know about SOMP because of the quota batch you initiated last time around.
Yeah,
So this would this be on the lines of the quota batch or something different, sir?
No, different.
Okay.
It will be.
So, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. And when you mention quota, Sahil is a product of quota. He's our quota model batch.
Okay. So would there be a quota batch this year, sir, or has it already been?
We don't know here because
the time.
This,
okay, sir.
Yeah, time and other things. So we are not sure, but we'll try.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Welcome. Any more doubts? Anyone wants to ask any question, please feel free to ask. Unmute your audio. So I think we have taken all the questions and we have given all the clarifications. Then we are going to post the schedule of this GS2 and GS3 mains answer writing plus course. And those who are interested to join, you can contact us. Otherwise, I think this was a very good session taken by Sahil and Ayushi. They have shared very good insight about the mains. So good night, guys. We are ending the session. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.